Flosstube. I'm back for Flosstube number 4. I'm Carrie. This is 3 Trail Stitchers. I'm alone today, lonely rider. But it is Saturday, September 5th. And it's a little later in the day than I would normally film, but I was just kind of busy today, so I am, like I said, alone. Sarah helped me bring up, she was over a little bit, helped me bring up my Halloween stuff from the basement. Sorry, I have a hair on me. And I think I broke her, because I have quite a bit of, I decorate big for Halloween and even bigger for Christmas. I'm a big Christmas fan, so I always enlist her help to make sure it happens. So I've not decorated. She just helped me bring up the stuff, and then maybe tomorrow or Monday. I'm not very motivated at the moment. So, and then Whitney is down in southern Missouri. Her and her husband own some land down there, so they went down there for the weekend. And she has sent me a picture of an armadillo and something that she thought was a murder hornet, which I also thought was a murder hornet. And it had a cicada, but apparently it's a cicada killer, which is a type of wasp or hornet, or I don't know. I mean, we don't really do nature, so it looked like a murder hornet to us. And 2020, so why wouldn't we assume? But other than that, it is very, very hot in Missouri today. We had a really nice day yesterday. Like when I left for work yesterday, it was maybe in the mid-50s, which is nice for this time of year. I mean, it usually starts to cool off. And then last night we got crazy rainstorms, which you would think would cool it off, but alas, no, this is Missouri. So it just made it miserable. It's sort of like Florida after it rains in Florida and it gets gross. That's what Missouri's like. So when I left the house this morning, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. My windows, the outside of my windows, I raised my blinds, were like coated in steam and gross. And it was 88 degrees, almost 60% humidity. Felt like 91, and then I, ran a few errands, came home, and it was like 90 outside, felt like 99. It's gross. But it is supposed to cool off towards the end of next week, so hopefully Missouri has crazy weather. I mean, I know everybody thinks their state has crazy weather, but it's nuts. And so hopefully it'll start to cool off, but it could go right back up again. Who knows? I'm a summer person, but I'm ready for fall. Like, I'm ready for, just to walk outside and not sweat immediately. So enough about the weather. I mean, that's riveting. It's a riveting Flosstube talking about the weather. So other than that, just had another week of like trainings and stuff at work. Our students start next Tuesday virtually. Sarah's students start next Tuesday face-to-face. Our schools are like 30 minutes away from each other, but it is what it is. She's in a different county, and our county, Jackson County, Missouri, is considered still a red zone, and we'll have like a good day and a not so good day. So it is what it is. We just gotta keep doing what we're doing, wear our masks, stay healthy, all of that. Stay in and stitch. So let's get started, because I've rambled about the weather and various other things. So previous finish, which is not fully finished, but it's something I really love and I'm proud of, so I figured I would go ahead and show it. Last summer we went to Branson, Missouri, which is south. We went to Cecilia's Samplers, which is a great cross-stitch store if you ever have the chance to go. They're very kind, very nice, and they just have a lot of stuff, all kinds of stuff. Quite a bit of Picture This Plus fabric. It's just nice. It's nice to go. I love my LNS. It's just nice to sometimes visit a different one and see, what's available, because every store kind of carries different designers and that kind of stuff. So I bought this. I saw it down there. It's by Summerhouse Stitchworks. It's called Sister Suffragette, and it's the Votes for Women, 1920 to 2020. This is the centennial of the 19th Amendment. And then it also came with these cool vote buttons for different countries. So for England, Canada, and the United States. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Yeah, it has USA button, a UK button, Canada, the Netherlands, and France. I think I pointed, yep. I have not made the buttons yet. I stitched the main piece, Votes for Women. So I love history. I have always been interested in, you know, the 19th Amendment and the women who fought for our right to vote. But also, I'm a huge Mary Poppins fan, and this totally made me think of the sash. You know, it just made me think of Mrs. Banks from Mary Poppins. And so every time I look at this pattern or stitched it, I was singing Sister Suffragette in my head nonstop. Because you can take the girl out of Disney, but you can't take Disney out of the girl. So this is my Votes for Women. In the picture, it's stitched on, I don't know, something brownish. Natural linen from Zweigert, 32 count, which Ada Stitcher. So this is 14 count. Picture this plus, and I don't remember the name of it at all, but I'm sure I could find it. And, oh, actually, I do because I wrote it down. It's Picture This Plus Mystic. And I totally changed it because I had to change the colors to make them show up on this fabric. So it's Sassy Bronze from Classic Colorworks. My red is Candy Apple from Weeks. I use DMC 550, DMC 3865 for the white. And then I think a teal, is it? It's a teal from Classic Colorworks, but I can't read my handwriting. Real talk, my handwriting's terrible. So I'm super proud of this. I love it. I can't wait to have something, get it framed, do something with it. My goal is to also stitch Suffrage Act. But I started stitching Suffrage Act on a, you know, like a tan or a beige. I think on the called for, maybe ale, I don't know. But I just couldn't get into it. So I honestly think what I'm gonna do, since this is on sort of a deep blue, I'm gonna stitch Suffrage Act on maybe like a deep red. And then I'll find a third one to stitch on sort of a cream white, you know, so it would look kind of like an old American flag. So that's my goal. We'll see when it happens. That's one of the two things. My sister bought me this, ignore the tea stain on it, the cross stitch journal from It's So Emma for Christmas, and I was super excited, and I was gonna write down all of my projects. And I've written down two things: Sister Suffragette, which I finished, and Suffrage Act, which it just kind of got UFO'd or put on hold until I figure out what fabric I'm gonna use. So that's my previous finish for this week. Whips. I worked on two things, and they were both my stitch-alongs that I'm currently working on. So last week when we filmed, I had pretty much just gotten the clue, or the fourth part, for Positivity Rules by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'm trying to remember if it's the fourth part now. I think it is. Yes, the fourth part. So Saturday night late, I kind of started it, and I got a little bit of the way. I think I got the word smile done. So let me hold it up. I think I got the word smile done last Saturday night. And then Sunday, I was just, you know, stitching like it was my job. So I got laugh. I finished smile, got laugh, and listen done. So I finished this. I started it late Saturday night, finished it Sunday night. Just kind of stitched through because I wanted to get it done, because I knew the next part of the Halloween Ouija was coming out too. So there is my Positivity Rules. Only one more clue to go, so it'll be the rest of the bottom and then this side over here. And I really love it. I love the colors. It just puts you in a good mood to stitch it. These are all things we need more of in our world right now. Kindness, trust, patience, listening, laughing. So I've really enjoyed it, and I will definitely do another Caterpillar cross stitch. I wanted to do Oh Dear, but I feel like I don't know if I want to start another stitch along. So I don't know. We'll see. The other thing I worked on was the fourth part of Tiny Modernist Halloween Ouija. And the fabric for Positivity Rules was, I bought the kit, so it's from the kit. And I'm trying to remember what it was. It's a really pale pink. It looks almost white on camera, but it's a pale pink. Okay, so Tiny Modernist Halloween Ouija. This came out on the 31st, the fourth part. So here it is in its entirety. Boop. Roll back. So this part of it was this witch, this spooky house, and then this candelabra. I love it. I love it. So I started this after I finished Positivity Rules, and I'm mostly, last night I finished the house and the candelabra. I worked on the witch in the evenings this week. I didn't have a ton of stitching time after work, but so that one is all caught up. So I, ladies and gentlemen, am caught up on 2 stitch-alongs, which is a big deal, as you will see soon, because my other stitch-alongs I'm probably behind on. So I'm super excited to have both of these done, and it's just nice to know, like, within the next month I'll have 2 finished projects. So that's the good part. That's the part I love about stitch-alongs, is there's an end, you know it's gonna get done. So what else? I went to my L&S today just to get a couple flosses that I need for one of my planned projects. Honestly, I could have waited, but sometimes you just have to visit your L&S. And mine is CC & Company in Blue Springs, Missouri. And I just bought floss for me, floss for my mom, and then I picked up the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue. I've already seen it, Sarah has it, but she doesn't share. She let me look through it, but now it's in her house, and so I'll never see it again. So I picked it up. I love it. I love the Halloween issue. I got the Christmas issue last week. There's lots of projects that I really love. And the reason I wanted to pick it up is I really want to stitch this. Ooh, sorry about that. I want to stitch this one from Frosted Pumpkin, a candy a day. Every single week, Laverne has to be on camera. So this will take me into haul. So for, sorry for that noise, a candy a day, I want to stitch and I want to finish it hanging from this. It says, I see candy in your future. It's from the Target Dollar Spot. It's basically like heavy duty cardboard, but I think it will hold up a small project. It was $3. I got it when I went to Target. There was not a ton of stuff. Usually for the holidays, like I've found wooden cutouts and that kind of thing that you can finish things on, but not a ton, which quite honestly, I can't blame places if they don't put out as much as normal for holidays and stuff, because like I'm not shopping as much. I just went into Target because I needed stuff for my house. So, but anyway, so this I see candy in your future. And then if I stitch this, a candy a day keeps the monsters away, and it can hang from the bottom of this because it'll be similar colors, that kind of stuff. And then I can drill holes hopefully and hang it. I also found in the Target Dollar Spot like a small tobacco basket, is that what they call them? That I might finish my paint black and finish my Halloween Town from Frosted Pumpkin on. Other haul, I don't have much because I have a lot of stuff coming in the mail, but you know, the Postal Service is kind of behind and I can't blame them because it's totally not their fault. So I went to Walgreens today to get batteries though, and it's officially Halloween time. Yes, it was almost, it felt like 99 in Independence today, but we're going to ignore that. I have a fall wax melt going, and I bought my annual 1 bag of, what are they called? Oh, Mellow Cream pumpkins. So you either love, like I'm not a huge candy corn person, but I love these pumpkins, which are basically candy corn, just in a different form. So I'm very excited for that. I will eat like 5 of them, and then they'll still be sitting there by Christmas because they always sound like a good idea. Plans? I'm going fast today. Hold on to your hats, folks. I'm going fast. Plans. So I had great plans for this weekend because it's a 3-day weekend for me. It's a Labor Day weekend, a holiday in the States, if you're watching from somewhere outside of the United States. So we, I have, you know, today, tomorrow, and Monday off. So I was going to do my own 24 hours of cross stitch and stitch, you know, 8 hours today, 8 hours tomorrow, 8 hours Monday. I mean, that's kind of blown out of the water because I've not stitched a bit today. But I'll probably spend the next 2 days stitching. So I've been saying every week I want to start Midnight Way by Frosted Pumpkin, but then over the last couple days I've been thinking that I should not start that until I finish the Nutcracker Ballet, which was the stitch along from last Christmas from Frosted Pumpkin. So I am going to work on this tonight. I'm going to give it this evening, maybe part of the day tomorrow. This is how far I got last winter, which is quite a bit. So what's left is the whole border, the words, Nutcracker Parade, another little toy soldier. The borders, I mean the big part, so because it will go all the way around, but hopefully I can get moving on it. I'm not going to tell myself I have to finish it. I was going to tell myself that, but come on now. So I will probably stitch on that for a bit tonight and try to get some work done on it. And then I will probably start Midnight Way. I keep saying it, but I probably will start Midnight Way one day this weekend. And then if I have time, like Monday, if I want to move on to something else, I'm going to go back to my Judith Kirby. So I think I keep putting off going back to my Judith Kirby because I really like it and I don't want it to be over too soon. But, you know, I've kind of missed stitching on it and I really would like to get it done. And then I bought this last week and I don't think I showed it. This is the Witchy Stitcher Salem Remembered. And I really want to, I'm sorry, I'm distracted because my cat is playing with something. We're just going to ignore it and just keep rolling. Because I'm not editing yet. So ignore that noise. Salem Remembered by Witchy Stitcher. I have lots of Salem patterns that I have great, you know, plans to stitch. But I really love this one. I think it's simple, but I love the look of it. I love the look of the fabric. She gives you directions for how to create this fabric that she did, but I have some gray 14 count, I think touch of gray. And I thought about coffee and tea dyeing it, but I'm kind of afraid. My mom was saying it might just turn it brown, but I'm hoping it makes it kind of gray grungy. It always works. Like when Priscilla and Chelsea tea and coffee dye gray, it always looks great. But I'm not Priscilla and Chelsea, so we'll see. And then that's what I went to get floss for, is I needed 2 more flosses to do this. I think this would be a good one to just kind of pick up because it is so many names, so I think it would go somewhat quickly and be sort of a low stress one. And I said that now, so it'll be like a frog parade. I'm gonna have to pull everything out. So that's my plan. Work on Nutcracker Parade, hopefully finally start Midnight Way and stop just talking about it. Work on Judith Kirby. I'd really like to, work on this Frosted Pumpkin from the Halloween magazine and maybe start this Witchy Stitcher. That's just 5 things in a week. Sure, right? Hello, Laverne. Thank you. Go on now. Sorry. Other than that, I think that's about it for cross stitch. So if you're not interested in what I'm currently reading or listening to, you can tune on out if you'd like. But I lately I listen to lots of podcasts, especially since we're going to be virtual. I will be, you know, recording videos and things like that throughout the day to post, but I'll probably have time where I'm like working on ordering and stuff on my computer. And during this, when I've been putting together packets for kids, that kind of stuff, I've had plenty of time to listen to podcasts. So last week I mentioned that I do listen to lots of true crime podcasts like My Favorite Murder, but I also listen to like investigative journalism podcasts like In the Dark. If you've not listened to that, it's great. But then I stumbled across a podcast that is 3 years old. I think it was recorded in 2016. It was before the last election. It's called Presidential. It's from the Washington Post. And the host is Lillian Cunningham. And it goes through, she did 1 president a week. So I've been listening to those. And it's fascinating. I'm interested in history. My grandparents would talk about his, you know, they would always share stories with us. They lived through the Great Depression. They lived through World War II. So they would always share stories with us. And I think that's one of the reasons my mom's always been fascinated by history. So, and I'm from Independence, which is Harry Truman's hometown. So I've been listening to that. I'm up to McKinley. Yeah, McKinley. And it's just been really fascinating. So each episode is a different president. They talk to historians like David McCullough and Meacham and who else? Doris Kearns Goodwin. It's just fascinating. If you have any interest at all in learning about the history of U.S. presidents or American history in general, check it out. I would show you the cover art, but I'm recording on my phone right now. So I listen through it through, iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Then this same host has another podcast that she recorded after this that's called Constitutional, which goes through the Constitution and the different amendments. So I'll be listening to that next. And then I'm super excited. And then her third podcast is, I just looked it up the other day because I knew it was probably time for another season, is called Moonrise, which is about the space race, which is another of my obsessions. I tend to get fascinated by things and focus on them, and I have to read all about it and I have to do everything. But I've always been interested in the space program. My parents, before my sister and I were born, worked for a time at Johnson Space Center in Houston, outside Houston. So, I grew up watching the right stuff and hearing about astronauts, and so it's something I've always been interested in. So I'm very excited to listen to that one next. So presidential is great. I'm going to listen to Constitutional, and then I'll follow that up with Moonrise. Because I'm listening about presidents, that's what I want to read about. So I started, usually I will listen to an audiobook, and then at the same time I'll be reading a book, not at the same time, but during the same time frame. So I'm listening to, when I'm not listening to the podcast, on Audible, I got Truman by David McCullough, which my mom read when it came out a million years ago. And it's pretty fascinating because it talks a lot about independence and the history of Kansas City and Jackson County. So I started listening to that, but it's 54 hours long. It's very long. And then I'm reading No Ordinary Time by Doris Kearns Goodwin. So I'm full on nerding it up, folks. History has become my jam at the moment. So anyway, on the flip side, so that you don't think that I'm just all about history, tonight I'm going to purchase the new Bill and Ted movie and watch it because I'm very excited for it, and I've been putting it off because it's like $25, but I've heard it's great. I've heard it's very sweet and happy, and that's exactly what I need right now. The world just seems to be getting crazier and crazier, so it's a good night to stitch, watch a silly, sweet movie, and yeah, that's my plan. So I thought maybe going forward, I will of course mostly talk about cross stitch, but I'll try to share what I'm reading or listening to. I know a lot of us listen to things while we cross stitch, watch things while we cross stitch, so if you don't like that, I'll give you a warning beforehand, and you can just click that right off, tune out. But anyway, I think that's probably about it. I feel like I sped through that, but that's okay. So I will let you guys go. I hope that the weather's cooling off wherever you are. I hope that the weather cools off here. They say it's going to, but it starts to get hard to believe when you're cleaning out your car, in the middle of the day and you're sweating like crazy. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and wearing your mask wherever you go, because I'd like to see my students again sometime this year, and I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. So wear your mask, take care, get in some stitching time. If you have any questions for me or want me to talk about anything in particular or stop talking about anything in particular, let me know down below. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed or who are just watching the video. If you just want to watch and not subscribe, that's okay. But if you want to keep coming back, subscribe, like, do all that stuff that those fancy floss tubers tell you to do. Hopefully next week Sarah will be back with me, or maybe Whitney, or both of them. But until then, I will let you go before my cat walks in front of the camera again. So, bye-bye. See you real soon.